Oh, there's so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Eat protein, build muscle, right? I mean, it is easily the most repeated piece of nutrition advice in the entire history of fitness. You see it on the packaging of literally every supplement, it's in every meal plan, and it's on the lips of basically every coach and personal trainer on the planet. But here's the crazy part, almost nobody can tell you what actually happens between the bite and the bicep. And that's not because it's some closely guarded secret. It's just because the real story is so much more complex, and honestly, so much more extraordinary than anyone ever bothers to explain. Think about it. The protein in that bite of chicken you just took, it doesn't arrive at your muscle as protein. It definitely doesn't arrive as a piece of chicken. It doesn't even arrive as the neat little building block you probably think it does. By the time your body is done with it, it'll have been taken apart, molecule by molecule, reconstructed into a form that your bloodstream can actually carry, interrogated by your liver, sorted out, delivered, and then used to lay down entirely new tissue inside your muscle fibers. So let's take the complete journey, from the very first bite to the last sarcomere. But before we actually follow the protein, we need to get clear on what protein is at the molecular level, because that changes absolutely everything about how this story unfolds. Protein isn't just one thing, it's a category. It's kind of like how the word vehicle covers everything from a kid's bicycle to a massive freight train. The protein in a chicken breast, a boiled egg, a bowl of lentils, and a whey shake, they are profoundly different structures. We're talking different sizes, completely different amino acid arrangements, and totally different shapes. But here's the unifying factor. Every single protein, regardless of where it comes from, is built from the exact same fundamental units, amino acids. And there are exactly 20 of them that exist in nature. Now, 9 of those, your body literally cannot make them itself, which means the absolute only way they enter your system is through food. These are your essential amino acids, and they're exactly why nutritionists obsess so much over protein quality. Think of amino acids like 20 different types of Lego bricks. Your body has its own internal factory that can manufacture 11 of those brick types. But those other 9 specific shapes, those have to be shipped in from the outside. And without those 9 shapes, certain proteins, including the ones that build your muscles, simply cannot be assembled. Okay, so let's eat. The mouth and stomach, unfolding this structure. The very moment that chicken or egg or protein shake enters your mouth, digestion begins. And the first job isn't actually chemical at all, it's physical. Your teeth are crushing the food into smaller pieces, which dramatically increases the surface area for your digestive enzymes to work on later. Your saliva jumps in to start wetting and softening everything. But here's an interesting little detail. Unlike carbs, where your salivary enzymes start the chemical breakdown right away, protein digestion in the mouth is almost entirely mechanical. The real chemical assault? That begins in the stomach. So when that food hits your stomach, it triggers a massive release of hydrochloric acid. This is one of the strongest acids your body produces. We're talking strong enough to dissolve metal if the concentration is high enough. The pH in your stomach drops to somewhere between 1.5 and 2. Just to put that into perspective, that is more acidic than lemon juice. It's more acidic than vinegar. And all that acid, it serves a very specific structural purpose. See, protein molecules in their natural form are folded up. They're coiled into these tight three-dimensional shapes held together by chemical bonds. The acid in your stomach physically denatures them. It literally unfolds those coils, stretches the chains completely out, and exposes the peptide bonds that link the individual amino acids together. Once that protein is finally unfolded, an enzyme called pepsin, which by the way only activates in this super acidic environment, goes to work. It begins snipping those exposed chains into shorter fragments called peptides. Now, they're not broken all the way down to individual amino acids just yet. It's kind of like cutting a really long rope into shorter sections rather than separating the individual threads. And right now, inside your body, if you've eaten recently, your stomach is doing exactly this. It's this intense, churning, acid-filled, dismantling operation running completely invisibly in the background. Eventually, this churned mixture, which is now this semi-liquid called chyme, gets released in carefully timed pulses through the pyloric valve and into the small intestine. And guys, this is where protein digestion truly comes alive. The small intestine, where the real breakdown happens. I gotta say, the small intestine is without question one of the most underrated organs in the entire human body. If you were to stretch it out flat, its inner surface is carpeted with these tiny finger-like projections called villi, and each villus is covered in even tinier microvilli. If you laid all that out, it would cover an area roughly the size of a whole studio apartment. And it's all intricately folded into a tube that's just 6 meters long. When that partially digested protein arrives here, your pancreas dispatches a whole fleet of enzymes, trypsin, chymotrypsin, elastase, and they just attack those peptide fragments from multiple angles all at once, snipping them down further and further. Then, the cells lining your intestinal wall release their own final set of enzymes, the brush border peptidases. These handle the very last stage of breakdown. They snip the final bonds between the amino acids, finally releasing them individually. And boom, there it is. That chicken breast you ate is now a stream of individual amino acids, all 20 different types, just swimming freely in the fluid of your small intestine. But they don't just wait around. Specialized transport proteins that are embedded in the intestinal wall, think of them as amino acid transporters, each designed for specific amino acid types. Grab them, pull them across the intestinal membrane, and drop them straight into your bloodstream. Now, the absorption timeline here is fascinating. From a single meal of high-quality solid protein, like chicken, it takes roughly 2 to 4 hours. But a whey protein shake, because it's already partially hydrolyzed and dissolved in liquid, that can peak in your bloodstream in as little as 60 to 90 minutes. And then there's casein, the slow-digesting protein in dairy. It actually forms this gel-like clot in your stomach and releases amino acids super gradually over 5 to 7 hours. Same exact nutrient category, completely different timelines. And that difference matters enormously for reasons we're about to get into. The liver, the sorting house. Okay, here is the counterintuitive part that basically nobody in the fitness world talks about. When those amino acids leave your small intestine, they do not go directly to your muscles. They go to the liver first. Every single amino acid absorbed from your gut travels through the portal vein. It's a blood vessel that acts like a dedicated high-speed highway running straight from your intestines to your liver. Your liver is essentially the body's master distribution center for nutrients. It gets first pass at absolutely everything you eat before the rest of your body even gets a look. So the liver starts making decisions. Some amino acids it just keeps for its own protein synthesis needs, things like enzymes, clotting factors, or albumin. Some it converts into glucose if your blood sugar happens to be low and you urgently need energy. Some it uses to produce non-essential amino acids that the rest of your body might need. And some it releases back into general circulation to be carried everywhere else, including your waiting muscles. But here is the really fascinating catch. The branched-chain amino acids, or BCAAs, which includes the absolutely crucial amino acid leucine, are largely exempt from this whole liver processing stage. Unlike most amino acids, BCAAs just aren't efficiently metabolized by the liver, so they pass through largely unchanged and just flood directly into the bloodstream. This makes them uniquely fast at reaching your muscle tissue. And look, this isn't just some supplement company's marketing claim, okay? It is a well-documented difference in our metabolic pathways. It's the real, biochemical reason why leucine in particular gets so much intense research attention. Because leucine, as we're about to see, doesn't just build muscle, it commands it. The leucine trigger, the ignition switch for muscle growth. Deep inside your muscle cells, there's a molecular complex called mTOR, the mechanistic target of rapamycin. Honestly, it's one of the most important proteins in your entire body. It's basically the master regulator of cell growth. When mTOR is active, your muscle cells manufacture new protein. When it's inactive, they don't. Simple as that. For years, scientists just assumed that simply raising the levels of amino acids in the bloodstream would trigger mTOR to turn on, like a general signal, right? Just a mass notification to start building. But then they discovered something that completely flipped our entire understanding of muscle protein synthesis. Turns out, it's not all 20 amino acids that activate mTOR. It's just one, leucine. Your muscle cells actually contain a dedicated leucine sensor. When leucine enters the cell, it activates this chain of proteins called the RAG proteins. They literally, physically transport mTOR to the surface of the lysosome where it meets its activating partner and just switches fully on. That's when protein synthesis begins. Ribosomes assemble, new actin filaments and myosin chains are manufactured, which are the very molecular motors we've explored before. This right here is the molecular basis for why protein quality matters so much. A protein source that's rich in leucine, like whey, eggs, chicken, or beef, delivers a massive mTOR activation signal. But a protein source that's low in leucine, like certain plant proteins, delivers a much weaker signal, even if you eat the exact same total amount of protein. And here is the revelation that should completely reframe your entire relationship with protein. Every single day, 250 grams of protein in your body is being dismantled and rebuilt. It's a continuous process called protein turnover. At a molecular level, you are quite literally not the same person you were yesterday. And the amino acids you eat today, the leucine you consume in your very next meal, they are the raw materials and the ignition signal for that constant, invisible reconstruction. You aren't just eating to fill up. You are eating to rebuild yourself. So here's what this entire microscopic journey has actually taught you and what you can do with it starting today. The difference between protein actually working for your body versus just being wasted, it comes down to 3 key things: speed, leucine, and timing. First up, speed. Because fast-digesting proteins like whey flood amino acids into your bloodstream really quickly, it creates this sharp spike that powerfully activates mTOR. Slower proteins like casein create a much more sustained, gentle stream, and neither one is inherently better across the board. After a workout, fast matters. But overnight, while you sleep, slow protects. Second is leucine. Because remember, not all 20 grams of protein are created equal. A source with more leucine triggers a much stronger muscle-building signal, regardless of the total dose. So prioritize complete proteins, animal sources, or really carefully combined plant sources to make sure you hit that leucine threshold at every meal. And finally, timing. The satellite cells in the muscle fibers you damaged during your last gym session, they are waiting for raw material right now. They don't build muscle in the gym, they build it in the hours that follow. And that window of elevated protein synthesis after resistance training lasts roughly 24 to 48 hours. Every single meal in that window is an opportunity. You now understand, right down to the level of enzymes and molecular sensors, exactly why protein does what it does, and why how you eat it matters just as much as how much you eat. That knowledge belongs to you now. So the protein is circulating in your bloodstream, the mTOR switch is flipped on, the construction crew is ready to go. But here is what most people don't realize. The single most powerful thing you can do to maximize all of this, it costs you absolutely nothing, and it happens completely automatically if you let it. Next time on Inside Body Lore, what happens inside your body after 3 days without sugar?